everyone.
Hello.
How you doing?
Welcome.
Are you
One
guys
and
ready?
all.
This is absolutely 100% for sure going to be the finale of this video game. Thank you for
Listen
giving
to
a sub
me.
to the streamer, Gomez.
Wait, everything can do this now.
No!
Yay!
Yeah!
Yes, welcome to the finale. We are absolutely sure this time. Saps promises of Phoenix Wright.
If we
Ace
are
Attorney
somehow
Tribulations.
not at the end of this video game at come 10 p.m., you can blame Saps.
The whole of you're wrong 3 times in a row.
Yes,
Why
this
don't
is-
we have any faith?
Not just the end of the game, but the end of
Also-
the trilogy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are... You can't purposely delay the stream by just talking shit and nothing happens. So, that would ruin my plan.
Oh yes, you're right. These
Oh.
3 minutes we have spent.
Yes, because the only
Yes.
reason we stream is to sit quietly and watch the game happen.
I just meant purposely going and then now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the tests we have performed earlier.
Okay, so quick reminder for my
There's a
own
test?
brain because trial. We exorcised Dahlia Hawthorne from Maya Faye's body
Oh.
last time.
Yeah,
And learned a
that
lot of
happened.
stuff. We still don't know who the killer is.
And that's
Right.
the big question today.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then it's weird that we don't really have even much of a clue of who it is.
Dahlia went
Dahlia
to
went to
super hell.
super hell.
If it's not Iris and it's not Maya, I don't know. Let's find out.
It's bikini. It's bikini. I'm sure.
It's
All the chips on bikini.
Do you have a clue, Clueless Anonymous?
tests.
But
What was
that's...
that?
feel-
I forget. Can I also have a review?
Yes, tests on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree.
Oh yeah, that. I totally forgot about that.
That's the weapon
Wow.
that
No,
Maya
you're not
Fey
doing
used
that.
when she when she fought with the victim.
So what are the results? Was it the victim's blood or?
Due to time constraints, a full test wasn't possible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh wait, but we
That makes
we,
sense, actually,
yeah,
because
we just
Elise Darnam
determined.
was stabbed in the back with her own staff.
Yeah, we just
Yeah.
determined that the staff sword was the murder weapon when we were in recess. This confirms that this was not in court. That this is not the murder weapon.
That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial.
Restart the
All
trial.
the way
Huh?
from the beginning.
All right, Ben.
Oh. Snowmobile. So it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger.
Glorious Dunham.
Can we get Larry back on the stand again? I miss him. Let's get him back in
No.
here. Let's go back.
Let's get everybody back.
Larry.
I
on
don't
stand.
miss him.
I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution know this, but this trial is rapidly coming to a close. See, even the judge agrees with me.
And the judge has never been wrong either.
He's always correct. He's never getting down the wrong verdicts.
Mhm.
Don't look at Maggie Bird earlier this game. Both sides will need to show there is some firm evidence with their claims.
I understand, Your Honor.
From what I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking. So let's finish this quickly.
Oh right, Maya's testifying.
Agreed.
Very well. Bring in the last witness.
Very well done.
Oh, she got
All right,
drunk and
then.
everything.
He's okay.
Witness, please tell us your name and profession.
Your hair fixed.
Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager of Wright & Co. law offices.
My
According to the magazine I have here, You're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique.
I'm frightened. The Fae clan. I don't want any more to do with it.
Oh.
Oh, Maya. The pain the Fae bloodline causes must be unbearable.
Very well. Now then, Miss Faye. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment of Miss Elise Denomme's murder. Is this correct?
I didn't see any.
Straighten up this instant, young lady.
Huh?
Pick up your head and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later.
Fine.
But
Your mother was killed right in front of your eyes.
Don't remind her.
There's
she
nothing
has
you
to be
can.
reminded.
There's nothing you can do to change that fact. But there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching for the whole thing, right? You've seen the witness come out, and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony.
Still good out.
No.
Oh, on the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen?
Witness, if you please.
yes, Your Honor.
No time to group, you gotta finish this by 10.
I was passing through the garden on the way to a spare prep room when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" And something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness.
So you were struck in the head. On the head. I suppose it must have been this bonking staff.
Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it?
I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't see. I don't know who it was.
Maya, think hard.
Sorry, Nick, but I really couldn't.
Ah. Can't say it was an especially good night for young ladies to be walking around alone.
Shut up.
It seems that it will be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination.
Maya, hang in there. She doesn't look well at all. Hold it! Who else was on the inner temple side that night?
Well, Sister Bikini, of course.
I knew it.
But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well.
On the day after the incident, Edgeworth met Bikini at Hazakura Temple. That means she couldn't be the criminal.
Damn it.
So then,
Yeah.
did Iris actually come later like she said?
Yeah, we actually like Bikini.
Well, let me think.
I don't know
She
why I'm
seems
immediately antagonistic towards all witnesses at any time.
It's because they're immediately antagonistic to us. She
Yeah,
seems
true.
confused. It's probably because she's so tired.
No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come when I was preparing for the meeting, or for the training.
Hold it! Who did it? Who hit you?
Well, I didn't see who it was. I was hit from behind.
You didn't see the person? But after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was?
Oh, let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember.
Maya's really having a hard time. What should I do?
Did I press? It's Maya.
Yeah, but...
And we know she can handle it.
All right, you talked me into it.
Come on, Maya, this isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person?
Well, let me think. It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it.
That's good.
It was dark.
Her. It was like, I figured it out. Like that. It
I
took you
got
that
it.
long. It took you that long
It
to
was
remember that it was dark.
nighttime. It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training.
Come to think of it, there was earlier testimony to that effect as well. So it was dark in the garden on the night of the crime.
Which is why she didn't see her attacker.
But then, how did her attacker see her?
I thought maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not.
Judging by the testimony thus far, the identity of the attacker was most likely...
The spirit that was channeled by Elise Donim, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Very well. Please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head?
Hold it! What happened afterwards?
My attacker was in front of me, blocking my escape. I think.
You think?
After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at that time.
Well now, this is beginning to get interesting. Let me get a drink.
So, what were the two things rolling around in your mind?
My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2.
Oh, she was checking herself
job.
for a concussion.
What,
You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory.
I wonder why.
Because she remembered Nick getting hit on the head.
Oh,
Oh, Maya, stop being so cute.
I know it's odd considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was.
That's not odd at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. So, what did you do then?
Slorp.
I said I was going to grab a drink.
You think you screamed, but you're not sure?
Listen, I was a complete wreck. It was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child?
A child? Bum bum bum.
It was
I
a
had
Fae.
I was scared out of my wits.
Not like a member of the Fae family, like a fairy.
Yes. Believe me, my dear, I'm certain I would have soiled my robes.
Yeah.
I thought this
You're
person
welcome.
might attack me, so I... Anyway, I'm pretty sure I screamed. I thought that it was my last hope.
I wore my brown robes today.
Wow, it sounds like poor little Maya really was out of her mind. But I wonder what she meant by last hope. What do I do? Do I press her for more details?
She
My
said
last
she
hope.
screamed help.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said she screamed help, yeah.
Wait a minute, Maya.
Help me?
What's this My Last Hope stuff?
What? What do you mean by your last hope?
No, that's what you said. You said My Last Hope.
Huh? What? I said... What?
Maya. Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, help me.
Yeah.
But you testified that you screamed that because you thought it was your last hope.
Oh, well, that's like what you call it when that happens. Or what do you call it when that happens?
Maya's not doing so well out there.
I think she still has a concussion. Oh, yeah, Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at.
There was another person.
Eh, what'd you just say? Eh?
Yeah, that's right. It was the person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to for help.
I haven't seen it.
Bah!
What is it now?
I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out.
Huh?
What is happening?
Why are you hiding stuff from me?
Witness! Are you absolutely sure of what you are saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person?
I am. Well, I meant to keep that part a secret.
That's perjury.
Maya!
What have I done?
Ah,
Maybe Maya thinks it was Pearl.
it takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always have said, and I have said before.
Also, geologists.
Yes.
A ton of pressure.
You're in a court of law here, and today we choose that matters. You can't make things up to try and hide things in this chamber.
I was muted. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to the case. I want you to add it to your testimony.
A man.
Not many of those around.
A man?
Yeah,
Who
there
was
shouldn't have
this
been
man?
any men on that side of the mountain. The only
Yeah.
man on the mountain was Nick
And Larry.
and Larry.
And Larry.
The only man,
And Larry.
the only adult man on the island was Nick, with the same age.
Well, you see, I couldn't see.
You couldn't see? She's used this excuse twice now.
Well, lantern light isn't very bright.
Lantern light, did you say?
There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it when an acolyte is there for training.
Mm,
Hey! You know what they say. Under the lantern, darkness reigns.
They say
So
that?
I could see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer.
I think it's under
What?
the lighthouse.
Oh.
there weren't- Yeah.
Because the lighthouse shoots light to the sides, but not directly underneath.
Yeah. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. Something warm.
Well, hold it? You don't mean... was it...
I didn't know it at the time, but... I think it was probably blood.
Is she saying that's when Miss Donim, who was channeling Dahlia, was stabbed in the back by the killer?
At the moment, I was paralyzed with fear.
So that would mean that if she got splashed with the blood, that meant the person who was close to her would have been, Elise / Dahlia. Got stabbed in the
Yeah.
back.
Also, shouldn't she still be covered in blood? Shouldn't she still be wearing the same outfit?
No, I think she changed clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dahlia was wearing different clothes.
yeah, because there was a whole dresser full of acolyte clothes
Oh,
in the inner temple.
I was just sitting there in the snow. I'm sure blood got on everything around me.
Hold it! So what happened next?
I don't remember.
How were you saved? You don't even remember that?
No. I haven't got any idea. I really don't know what happened at all.
That's too bad.
I've worked side by side with Maya for 2 years now. I can tell when she's trying to hide something by how she acts. Not that, that was hard. And right now, I'm absolutely certain she's hiding something. Very good, Phoenix.
You did it, Phoenix. Do you want star?
Man behind my attack. This is the statement
Did
that
you
they
press-
added.
Yeah, you didn't press this, I don't think. Did you?
Didn't I?
Did you?
We did.
Man?
Yeah.
Who was this man?
Well, you see.
I couldn't
Oh,
see.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, we did press this.
Yeah.
I missed the very first part there.
This is the this is the
I'm
lighthouse.
pretty sure that
comment.
that statement is the one.
Yeah.
It's when
Well,
they got
we had
added.
before. We had before
Yeah.
when we got a statement, and then we needed to contradict that with earlier testimony. This time I have not looked at the answers. Let's see!
I have a hunch that we don't need that, though. Because she's already contradicting herself, and we've got evidence against that one. This one.
Behind. By the. I feel like what we should address is that it was a man, and there shouldn't have been a man on that side of the
Yeah.
river.
But how do we present
yeah.
evidence to say
The
that?
only men should have been Nick, who was in Hazakura Temple, and Larry, who was at Heavenly Hall.
Or we could get into the fact that she said 5 times that it was really dark.
True.
Well, she did also mention that the lantern is illuminated a little bit.
Yeah, but the lantern is busted. We've already gotten into it.
Oh. Wait, what?
Wait.
Yeah?
Oh, that's the contradiction.
Yep.
Was not lit.
Was
at the
not
Vatican
lit at the.
Prime. I see.
Oh,
That was
missed that part.
it.
I totally
So there
forgot
was a
about
man.
that.
So there was a man standing behind your attacker.
Yeah.
That man. He's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Donim,
Very
otherwise
good,
known as
Phoenix.
Misty Faye, your mother.
Don't rub it in.
You're right, Phoenix.
Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you?
But what is the meaning of this, Miss, alright?
To be frank, Your Honor, I think she's in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed the huge problem with her testimony.
Huh? What do you mean? What problem?
Maya, on the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission.
Huh? What?
It's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night.
No.
Order in the court! Miss Godo, please explain this.
Thinking, oh yeah, it was snowing, so it would have been cloudy, so no star or moonlight.
Yeah.
Is Mia still here? She's being awfully quiet.
I think Mia's gone at this point.
Oh, just hanging out in the lobby. She
Add
did
the
say that we had to
pureness-
solve this on our own.
Yeah, she did
Add
say
the-
that. You're welcome, Jay.
Oh wait, no, I mean, if you all want to go, I got like 16 more cups of coffee. I'm ready to go.
Drinking a cup of coffee right now.
Yo, add the pureness of milk to the perfection, clear darkness of coffee. Stir. That's the state of the witness's mind right now. A cup of cafe au lait.
Close enough.
I don't know how to tell you this, Godot, but that doesn't mean anything.
Cafe au lait? Is that even legal?
That's actually correct.
Yes, and it is one of my rules. Mr. Trite's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor.
Ooh. I'm a spoon? I'm no spoony bard, I'll have you know.
Wow!
What are either one of you talking about?
I'm confused.
Oh, that is a Final Fantasy IV reference?
Oh,
What?
seriously? Wow, that's...
Yeah.
Aw.
Ah,
Wow,
fuck, I
I
played
forgot.
that one. It's like the only one I've played.
Yeah.
You must have noticed it too, Trite. The witness's mental state is highly unstable right now.
Woosley didn't work on this game, did he? Clash for this game 6 is Spinny Bird line in every game he works on. Huh.
That's fun.
It's not hard to understand why she had to make a little mistake like that.
Yeah, I figured Woosley was long retired.
Objection! Sorry, but that's not gonna cut it.
What did you say?
If there truly was no light in the garden, then there's a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony.
Knows the man.
Nick!
May I? Recall the witness's statement about her attacker. She said that she didn't know if it was a man or a woman, an adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe the person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. Okay, cool. We got to both then.
Okay,
Ah.
cool.
In other words, that would have to mean that Maya actually saw our mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker.
No!
Why are you sad? Order, order, order! What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? Are you saying this based on a real killer under pitch black conditions?
Trite, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There was no other light source at the scene.
Mm.
Objection! There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Godot.
Ghosts?
Where hair flies.
Maya, you did see who the killer was in the dark. And now, you're trying to cover for him.
Cover for the man that killed her mother.
There's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is.
Please, Nick. I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you.
It was me, I know it.
Ah. You talk a good game, Trite. But let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling your bluff.
No, Nick, don't. Please stop.
Maya's dead set on protecting this guy. The man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, an officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth.
All right, Mr. Wright. Time to show us what you've got.
Show me what you got.
Who was this person that you say Miss Face saw in the darkness?
Excuse me?
How can we say anything about that?
I know who
Excuse
it
me?
is.
Gumshoe.
I guess we don't have any way to prove that, do we?
It was
Well,
pitch
we
dark.
have-
There was no light source anywhere.
Oh.
Someone knew how to see Maya and the attacker, and she could see only him.
I understand suddenly.
I can't believe we skipped straight to this.
Yeah, I
That
thought
is
it
a
would,
bit of a leap, but when you
yeah,
think
I thought
about
it would.
it
I
makes
thought it would
sense.
take longer.
But if you think about it,
Name the blackened.
Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how this is possible, yes?
Uh-oh.
What? But how do you propose to show us something like that?
It's easy.
By the way, hi to listen to Devon. I'm sorry you just stepped out at this moment.
We just need to recreate the conditions of that night.
Conditions?
Your Honor, the defense officially requests that all the lights in this courtroom be turned off.
This is... But it can't be!
ha. That was a nice bit of deduction. Try it.
Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of the murder.
Order! 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 Prosecutor Godot, what is the meaning of this? Surely you mustn't be shocked to hear yourself accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it?
Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person.
What do you mean by that?
If you've got the question, ask the witness. That is one of my rules.
Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it three glowing red lights?
Well, witness, answer the question.
You're wrong. I never saw that.
Maya,
I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man. For a totally different reason.
what?
Witness? Mr. Wright? What the...
Stop your chattering, Your Honor. If it's worth asking, ask the witness. That's one of my rules.
He didn't.
You
drink
said
the
it
last
earlier!
cup.
God damn it, Godot.
All right. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man.
You sounded like this.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. I didn't realize it until after I woke up, but
He was singing that song by the Backstreet Boys, "My Way."
when I came to, I was just lying there on the training hall floor.
I killed my friend.
By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit, and the body was gone. And all the snow around the stone lantern had been carefully cleaned up too.
Where did they put the bloody snow? The
Where?
incinerator?
Elsewhere. Oh, the incinerator.
Or
Or,
the-
Oh,
or
that
the,
would actually make sense.
or
Bloody
the river.
snow.
The river,
Bloody snow burns
river.
up real good.
But the river, though.
Or the-
Since the person that did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man.
Seriously?
So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man.
Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor,
No need to apologize. It's as Mr. Godot said, you're utterly exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination.
You ever seen a man sweep anything?
My grandfather works in a cleaning company. Sounds fake, but
When he wasn't being paid to?
fair.
All that. So you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right?
yes. I think it happened when the victim was stabbed.
So then the person that carried you into the inner temple,
It could only have been the killer.
That's what I think, too.
so the killer carried Maya into the inner temple. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something that the killer desperately wanted to hide.
I don't know.
Looks like she doesn't have enough confidence. I think I need to gather some more information before I ask her again.
So is that telling us to press that later?
I guess
The
so.
torches were lit?
Yes, that's how I had noticed the whole scene had changed.
I'm going to say it was the killer who lit the torches. I mean, who else could it be?
The killer probably lit them too, since it'd be impossible to do any cover-up work in the dark.
Unless it was good.
However, if that's true, there's one thing that still bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body?
That's true. It's hard to see how that would be of any advantage to the killer. The only one who would gain anything from that would be the only person that was at the inner temple, Maya.
Well, there was another one too, Phoenix.
Have we addressed Pearl ever?
I don't think so.
Pearl never made it across the bridge. She couldn't have been there. Or wait,
She didn't?
No, she was on that side of
That
the bridge
side.
when we first got there.
Yeah, she was on the inner temple
She
side.
was on that side.
We don't want to accuse Pearl though for Maya's safety, you know?
Yeah.
Wait,
Very
when
well.
did she get, when did she gravy?
I think in the morning after, she said.
But Bridge was out?
She
was
was
already
already
on that
there at
side.
that point.
is this a plot hole?
I think
No,
it's just
we don't
them
think
not
so. She
mentioning
was
it.
there.
Well, no.
She was there.
She was there, but she didn't interact with the murdered thing. Maybe
So
she just
she-
couldn't find them?
She fell asleep. They mentioned she fell asleep.
Yeah, she
Where?
fell asleep, but where?
Did
I
she
think it
bring
was
the
out of
pot
sight.
gravy with her the first time she went across the bridge?
Yes.
Okay. And she waited until the morning to dump it on the
Yeah, she woke up and realized she still couldn't summon the soul, and then she panicked and like threw gravy on the scroll. But yeah,
Alright.
very well. Then let's hear some more about the condition of the crime scene.
Hold it. So you're saying the killer cleaned up the snow? It did look really odd. It did
I
look
had
really
a-
odd.
I had another thought. If it was the blood on snow, Godot couldn't see it. Wouldn't have been able to see it.
That's true.
Unless, wait, let me look at this photo. Nope. What?
However, if it was Godot, he didn't take the time to clean off the lantern, and he was surprised
True.
that there had been something scrawled on it.
Do we not have a picture of... Wait, do we seriously not have a picture?
Doesn't seem like. Clueless, we accuse Godot.
We accuse Godot.
Jacques. And yeah, and it wasn't a specific one, it was a big square all around, like the whole place.
Yeah, so
And
he
didn't
wasn't
see
being
that.
very meticulous about it. He just cleared off as much snow as possible.
I guess that could be true.
Also, Maya hasn't said anything about the name on the lantern yet.
The snow was removed in an unnatural-looking rectangular shape around the lantern.
Did freak out when we mentioned it. When we mentioned the Maya.
Yeah. There are a lot of shovels around the inner temple. But they're all really heavy. Way too heavy for me to use.
Why would they be so heavy?
An odd fellow indeed, this killer. Why on earth would anyone want to take snow away?
Well, that's one thing I can think of.
Well, Santa Claus.
Didn't you say that a lot of the victims' blood sprayed onto the snow?
Yeah. The area I collapsed in ended up being splattered.
In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation.
Perhaps. However, there's something that's bothering me. If the killer just wanted to hide the snow with blood on it, there was no need to remove that amount.
That's true. You're doing a great job explaining it, Judge. He could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood.
It looks like there are some mysteries behind this issue.
No, there's not.
But I think this will help explain them.
All dead.
They're bad at cleaning, just look at you, Mr. Right?
So you're saying that you never saw the killer, right?
Got me there. Got me there, Maya.
Yes.
When was the last time you watered Charlie?
But earlier, you very clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker.
Nick, I'm sorry.
The killer certainly went through a lot of trouble. Moving the body by pendulum, manipulating the crime scene. But for what purpose? Why do all that? Maybe Maya knows more than she's letting on.
I think you should go to the point where she's describing the scene after she woke up and present the stone lantern. Yeah.
Present. Could have just gone one left, but oh well. Lantern. I guess. Maybe saving constantly.
No?
Your Honor, what do you think about the
Wait.
witness statement? What's your opinion? Give it to me straight.
Wasn't
Steve. What do you
wasn't there
got?
one in the statement we had to press again?
Maybe?
When we had gotten more information, like the second one, I think?
Naturally, the killer must have done it, right?
Yes, I think so.
But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? Haven't we read this? Must have been something that the killer desperately
Yeah, we
wanted to
have,
hide.
but they were going to add more later.
The truth is, when I saw the crime scene, I felt something.
You did?
Yes, I felt like the killer was hiding the evidence for me. For my sake.
What? Hiding it for you?
Everyone knew that I was the only one at the inner temple that night. If Sister Bikini had come back and looked in the garden...
She may have thought that you had done it.
No, she definitely would have thought so. And you're saying that's why the killer cleaned up the crime scene to make it look like nothing had happened?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
Well, that's certainly an important piece of
This
information.
is it.
I want you to add that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ah.
I think it was for my sake that the killer cleaned up the evidence of what had happened.
They did it for your sake?
Well, if the body and the blood hadn't been removed, I would have immediately been the prime suspect, right?
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, and if that happened, the body would have caused some other problems too. If her real identity had come out right then, it would have been terrible. Master of Karain killed by own daughter. I don't think Maya would have been able to handle it.
But still, it's rather difficult to fathom the killer's motives. What reason is there to go through that much trouble to protect you?
Alright. Now we present the lantern. As it says, Maya.
Yeah.
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 The body of Elise Donim was carried all the way to Hazakred Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's still one matter that seems somewhat odd.
Oh, and what would that be?
You must have figured it out by now, Mr. Goodell. It's the message written in blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern. Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern?
Ah, you're right. Order, order, order. But Mr. Wright, isn't it a fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene?
Indeed. No, indeed. But it doesn't make much sense to move the body and remove the bloody snow. Then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing.
But if that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior?
Can't see
Aiva?
red.
Why would this killer move the body and remove all that snow? But then leave the bloody writing on the lantern?
I don't know what the killer's plan was,
Ah!
but it's a fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. There must be a reason for it.
Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave a message written in blood on the lantern?
Didn't notice it.
Notice it.
Prosecutor Goodell, earlier in this trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought.
Oh, I am.
The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it.
Really?
But that doesn't make any sense.
No?
The torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that.
You're right. There's no way any normal person would.
What are you trying to say? Stop sobbing over there, Godot.
I mean, we can end this if you want. There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing on the lantern.
And who would that be? Who is the person who could have failed to notice the bloody writing? Who could it possibly be?
I wonder.
Gumshoe, he's an idiot.
Gumshoe.
Gumshoe!
Hillary should have called it Crimson or something.
It was Crimson!
Morgan, because she wasn't there.
Edgeworth, he was in
Sure.
Europe. Mr. Godot, this is what you said yesterday.
My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything.
You can't see everything? Is that correct, Mr. Godot?
This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I would like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented.
This lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood.
Nonsense. This lantern is clean as a whistle.
Mr. Godot, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? It's that specific? I guess that makes sense, but the apron. That's right, we went through this once before.
Impossible. And also, show some respect. Wear a tie next time you come to court.
Oh, no, I can see pink. Hey, Luna.
No, I agree with you. That is very close to pink.
Yes.
It's rose,
Got-
which is like between red and magenta.
Somebody got right there, and I'm not sure who it was. During the poison
Nobody
stage,
did.
Jay did not start it, but you're right.
This is the apron the delightful Miss Bride was.
Bird.
It's been
Bride.
a while. Was
Weird.
wearing at the time. Here comes the bride. Everything is white, and somehow spilled coffee on it.
She was ecstatic.
Who was
Poor
the
Tara.
judge of case 2?
Oh, just read it.
There's something still bothering me, Mr. Godot. Why have you not explained the bloodstain to the court? I think actually I was the judge of that case.
Oh. Bloodstain? What bloodstain would that be?
Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that's smeared all over the apron.
That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain that would turn brown as it dried. I mean, come
Yeah.
on now.
We know.
Yeah.
Act
Yeah,
like it would
except-
stay red.
except that wasn't blood. That was like ketchup, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Was it,
Oh.
was it actually ketchup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty sure.
That's amazing.
You could see the coffee on the white apron because nobody bled in that case, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red.
Well, damn
Right.
it.
Right there, ketchup.
It's strange. In a black and white photo, those letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one who can't see them?
So then, Mr. Godot, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see red writing on the lantern?
Hey, Gramps, didn't you know
I miss the guitar.
that the reason why I don't drink red tea? Oh, that's the reason. There's red tea?
Rooibos. It's not actually
Ah.
from the tea plant. It's an African herb. It's like an African bush. It's very tasty though. It's close.
I guess I would-
red tea.
I would
wasn't
drink
sure
it to
about
be
it.
red tea in the morning.
I wasn't sure about it until now, but I just
does-
can't believe it. Prosecutor Godot is the murderer,
Drink one, do could.
but there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth.
By the way, order my court, please.
Mr. Godot, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You were the murderer of Miss Elise O'Nim, also known as Miss Misty Fey.
It's hard to believe that this may be true. However,
It's Miss Mystic Misty Fey.
Once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you.
I just want to know, Godot, why were you there?
I think we're about to
Were
find
you
out.
there?
I was blind. Oh, just make sure you don't fill out the incident on red ink, Gramps.
Indictment.
Yes. Come on, how does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there.
Objection. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red.
This is rich. Do go on, right?
The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow.
The snow? How?
Well, for example, why did the killer move all of that snow? Your Honor, you said it yourself. If he wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not take out just that area?
Yes, why didn't he just take just that area? Could it be?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow. And so he had to remove all of the snow. He couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area.
Isn't it more likely that the killer just couldn't see blood because it was dark?
Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine.
I was gone, it seems.
Maybe stop muting.
I'm working on food, sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
No.
That's once again, this trial has taken an unexpected turn to say the least.
Turnabout.
Can you explain this, Mr. Godot?
Hold it! Wait just a minute.
Maya.
What is it, witness?
Mr. Godot isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the Inner Temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up.
He was there when we crossed the bridge that Gumshoe made, wasn't he? He just kind of showed. Didn't he just kind of show up?
No.
Did he?
Or did anyone see him between that?
He got to the scene. He got to the scene pretty fast after we got across the bridge.
And he wasn't the prosecutor in the first day. Francisco
Yep.
was.
Nobody could find him. Couldn't contact him.
Maya? You can't testify to something like that.
Why? What do you mean? I mean, look, I'm...
After the murder happened, you didn't even exist.
She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow.
Are you senile, old man? We established this just a little while ago. Good. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time. Because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, that's right.
Good.
Please, Your Honor, let me add it to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me.
Maya. Do you plan to cover for Godot no matter what the cost? If that's
Why?
the case, I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her.
Nicely done, Trite.
Very well, let's hear the testimony. Please tell us what happened at the Inner Temple after the murder.
Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearly was there at the Inner Temple, too.
Uh-oh.
Don't you dare.
Are you doing what I think you're doing?
They wouldn't do it.
Pearly
No
was
way.
also stuck in the Inner Temple side that night.
No way are you throwing pearls under the bus.
The next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. That's when Mr. Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. He found Pearly first and cheered her right up.
How do you know any of this?
Who is this Pearly?
That's my little cousin, Pearl Faye.
So when did you hear about this?
Oh, just a while ago, when I was in the medical office.
Be a space in that a while.
I'm terribly sorry. But what you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony.
Thank you!
What? Come on! Pearly would never tell a lie.
That is legally hearsay.
She's a way more honest person than I'll ever be.
Real smart, Maya. You always know the best things to say when you're under oath.
Ha! The prosecution has no objections. We believe the witness.
Mr. Godot!
Let's move on to the cross-examination. If the defense has no objections.
This is highly unusual, but... Mr. Ryan?
Let's get this cross-examination started.
What is happening to my trial?
My trial now.
So,
Ah!
wasn't Mia being channeled by Pearl,
When?
like in the intermission between...
Oh, you mean like
would
today?
Pearly have been able to speak to Maya? When she was in the...
Do we know how long the intermission was and if she maybe went out after we, like, stopped talking to her? Question mark. Anyways, wonder could you take on the judge for a little while?
Oh, okay.
Hold it. So where did you do you think Pearl slept that night?
They go in the game.
In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule you can't enter the training hall during an acolyte's training.
But even so, why did she go to the Inner Temple in the first place?
It seems that Pearls became very worried about Maya.
She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense.
Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the Inner Temple. However, Dahlia Hawthorne was already there, possessing the body of Elise O'Neill. Hold it! She searched the entire Inner Temple side end to end.
Well, you see, Pearly gets pretty scared when she's alone. And there weren't that many places to look. She says that she even went back and forth several times.
The Inner Temple side has two structures, the training hall and a spare prep room.
Let me see the map. Okay, I guess I don't know where the prep room is on this map. But...
Yeah, I guess I don't know either.
I thought
I
it
guess
was
it's
in
just-
the Inner Temple.
Okay, so the Inner
Yeah,
Temple is
with
just a big
Like,
building.
there's that little room before going into the cave in the Inner Temple.
But wouldn't
I
that
think
be
that's
one
what it's
structure?
talking about.
Yeah, it says two structures.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember what it
What?
looked like when we were there.
Eh.
Oh well.
There's also a storage shack, I think. That's about it.
There was a storage shack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Would she really would she have really examined a storage shack all that carefully?
Well, if it was me, that would be the first place I would investigate.
So that means it's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage shack.
Hold it. Pearls didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge.
What do you mean?
I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge.
Oh, well, Pearlie said she was sleeping at the time.
For a long time.
She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times.
Poor little girl, all alone like that.
Well, we know that she had at least one friend in the sacred cavern.
They were there for 2 nights, right?
Think so?
Yeah, because they didn't fix the bridge until the like the afternoon after the first day of trial. And there was a day of investigation before that with Edgeworth.
Right.
Yeah, so Pearl and Maya were stuck there for 2 nights.
Dahlia Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock.
She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls.
What happened after the bridge was finally fixed?
Hold it. So it was your first time on the Inner Temple side, Mr. Goodell.
That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the fence ask me a question?
Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness.
What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor.
Touché, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Godot?
Coffee. Hot nights are even hotter coffee. That's what I always say.
No.
If it hadn't have been for this case, I would have gotten away with it.
Actually, I think that one works. If it hadn't have been.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
A freezing cold temple in the mountains. I think I'll pass.
So he had never visited Hazakura Temple or the Inner Temple, huh?
You want to say something, Trite?
In any case, I have to find a crack in Godot's armor. While I cross-examine Maya, that is.
Very well, please go on with your testimony. After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, right?
Yes. Then Mr. Godot.
I'm probably
Hold it.
first and cheered over that.
He cheered her up?
That's what Pearlie said. She said she was a very nice older gentleman.
A very nice older gentleman.
Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Godot.
And here I was thinking you were nothing more than a coffee addict.
Cut it out. You're making me blush. And I can't even tell.
This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one.
The truth is, there aren't many places to look in the Inner Temple side. The policemen were all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation of my own, Godot style.
I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way. Judge style. Hoo-ha!
Maybe I should ask some questions. Phoenix style.
Very judgmental.
Maya style.
Maya style.
What did you do to cheer Pearls up? This I need to know.
So you cheered Pearls up?
Well, when I found that little girl,
Please don't say give her coffee.
the first thing she asked for was her cousin Maya Fey.
Really?
The bridge had burned down, and she was huddled up in that tiny sack with no heat.
Check.
Even though she must have been a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before a thing about herself.
Girly.
I noticed that you weren't anywhere in the inner temple side, but I couldn't find it in me to tell her that. So I gave her my last cup.
Oh. He was bouncing off the walls.
She runs very fast. With milk and sugar to hide the bitterness of the harsh truth.
Yeah, she's already a speedster. What a sweet story. Oh, too.
He had a thermos of coffee? Why doesn't that surprise me? I mean, that's to be expected. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place?
A little quiet.
Oh, is that right? He must have already been at the inner temple when it happened. Otherwise, he couldn't have killed Elise Donim. Hold it! He cheered her up?
Okay, it's all the same. We're just gonna go to the other question. There's an investigation.
You said that you conducted an investigation of your own. Did you find anything?
It looks like my investigation went about as well as yours tried. After all, I did miss the bloody writing on the lantern.
Well, I didn't miss it, so speak for yourself, Goggles.
The only odd thing I discovered was the beauty in the training hall.
Oh, God, he's doing it. It's happening. Beauty.
No.
It's happening. I knew it's hard.
Misty Fey, naturally.
Fool.
Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
Western taste. Could he find a stranger way to describe gravy? No, no, Phoenix, you fool.
So from where you headed for this prep room?
He just
From
gave
there,
up the
yeah.
game. If he had
Good
gotten
job.
there after, like when he says he did, he would never have seen the portrait of Misty Fey.
Yeah.
Good, no, don't hit on your dead girlfriend's also dead mother.
Said XGFs.
Anyways, I said the line.
Okay, yeah.
Ah,
welcome back.
wait a sec. What did Godot say just now? What did he
Hey,
say?
there we go, Phoenix.
I think I just found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of any importance here. Where was Godot when the murder was taking place? Oh, okay, bye. Wait, what are we supposed to present to?
I don't know. Press this one again.
That was something he said, not Maya. So it was your first time on the Inner Temple side, Mr. Godot. We already read all this. Ba-ba-dee-da-bop-bop, skee-ba-dee-bop-boo-da. Boop-a-dee-boop-boop-boop, boop-a-dee-boop-boop-boop. Those are your words. Boop-a-dee-beep-bop.
I'm just going through this again in case something changed. Okay. You never visited Hazakura.
It's just like I thought. Godot is lying. If his first visit to the Inner Temple really was after the incident, he shouldn't know about that piece of evidence.
Very well, please go on with your testimony.
Okay.
After fixing the bridge, the policeman came over to the Inner Temple side, right? Huh, didn't know there was actually more dialogue if you pressed it again.
Wait, there's more? Now what do we do?
Oh, that wasn't even necessary?
Well, it was probably necessary, but it was like step 2 out of 3.
When we asked him about his investigation, he mentioned that he saw the scroll of Misty Fae, which he couldn't have seen if he got there when he said he did because it was covered in gravy.
Yeah, he should not have known that it was a portrait of Misty Fae because
So now
it
I
was
say,
already
okay.
covered in gravy.
So I press this because this statement where he says, Godot arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time after all that. So now I can present the wall scroll, or the scroll. He should not have been able to see this. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, after you pressed and you asked about his investigation, you can immediately present that. You didn't need to press it again, apparently.
Okay, I just wanted to check first.
Yeah.
Mr. Godot. The first time you crossed Dusky Bridge and went into the Inner Temple was long before the murder took place.
Why do you say that?
Because he just made it one fatal slip-up. The hanging scroll in the training room.
Hanging scroll?
Getting a little quiet, Ark.
But Mr. Godot is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother.
Maya, I know you know who it is, but here's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after the murder, the hanging scroll in the training hall looked like this.
What's that wonderfully delicious smell?
I don't know if that would
that?
smell good at this point.
Yeah, it probably smells like crap, Your Honor, but okay. The morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy.
I like that he just brings the actual scroll. Wait.
Yes?
Yes, he
Yes.
brought the scroll with him.
Yes, man.
No. Did he bring
Don't
the
worry
scroll
about it.
with him?
Don't worry about
did
it.
the judge smell it? If it's
Don't worry about it.
This-
It was
Don't worry
concealed in a case.
I feel like this is the writers making fun of how it's very unclear whether or not you actually have the evidence with you.
Ah.
Okay.
Scratch and sniff photograph.
Oh.
Gravy? But why gravy, Nick?
Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. What? Well, Mr. Godot! Phoenix doesn't mean shit. If you really hadn't seen the hanging scroll until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any idea of knowing that it was Misty Fae, unless he was familiar with the Terrain School of Channeling.
He
He
described
knew
the person as like beautiful or whatever.
And in
Suggested.
Japanese garb.
True.
Yeah. Give details.
Wait a minute, Nick.
Yes.
Take another look at the hanging scroll.
You can see her
Mark.
feet.
Look, at the top. There's a crest there.
Oh, she's mentioning it. Ah,
Damn it.
Please don't die.
you're right there, my boy.
Yeah, I just got soda in my throat.
Is it my fault?
Yes.
Yes, I was also gonna make a comment, but I couldn't do the ad lib because of the coughing.
Ah, that. It's the mark of the Terrain.
Master.
Exactly. So, if you know the meaning of the mark,
Then you could guess that the picture of Missy Faye was on there.
True, but Mr. Godot described what was underneath like this. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes.
oh,
Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Godot, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place.
Can I ask you just one little thing, Trite?
What is it?
This whole theory of yours, it all rests on a certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed.
He meditated. Whatever.
that's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak into the crime scene.
Of course, Mr. Godot knew about the plan.
Huh?
What did you say? Is it really possible that another person knew of that plan?
Yes, it is. I realized this last time after we ended. Great.
Oh, cool.
I had a question, and I realized the answer after.
Maybe.
Wait, what? What?
Could
This
he
tells
have
him the
recognized
plan
her?
No.
To be fair, it would be pretty easy to forget.
Would
this bit.
he have seen this at some point?
Opened once before. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Oh, because Pearl said that the envelope had already been opened.
Yes.
That's it.
Now, how exactly did Godot know to go to the Fey School of Channeling and where this picture was hidden? I don't know, but this crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Fey authored the plan for her daughter's future. And these instructions were hidden somewhere in Fey Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found these instructions, they had already been unsealed.
Unsealed?
Yes, the killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. Sorry, the chat just put Saps on blast and I had to read it. That's how he knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple.
Listen, I know horizontal means like horizon, but I will never remember.
Why? It has horizon in the name. Horizontal.
Just say like sideways.
No.
Do you know the difference between latitude and longitude?
No.
Why would that help?
Because longitude is long because it goes all the way around the globe and the
That's
line's
actually
longer.
wrong.
What?
Latitude is lateral. It's sideways.
Wouldn't the lines be just as long up and down and front?
No, because longitude goes from the North Pole to the South Pole, which is half of the circumference, while latitude goes all the way around and is the full circumference.
You know what I just
Okay.
realized? I don't care. That's how he knew. That's how he knew. That is how he knew.
Thank you for that.
And you still insist this crafty killer is me?
You bet I do.
It's actually step lateral.
No.
We brought it around.
Around like a globe?
But you just said the instructions were hidden.
We just added an extra hour onto the stream.
Oh, yes.
That's right. Mr. Godot couldn't have known there were instructions, or where the instructions were hidden.
If you really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out
Yes, and when was that?
during a visit.
A visit?
Morgan Fay just knocked into my cat. Sorry. Morgan Fay told her daughter Pearls about where.
Kitty.
I'm petting her right now. She's like, "Oh yes, keep doing that." She doesn't care at all. Morgan Fay did that. That's what she did.
Okay.
During one of her visits to the detention center. That would be the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden.
Eavesdropping on a visit to the detention center.
Yes, it could be arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Godot.
Wasn't he not a prosecutor until like a few months ago?
But Pearls only got that message a month ago, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Ah. Haha.
Order! Mr. Mr. Godot, you're under fire once again!
This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you were the only one that could have acquired this information before the murder.
Wait, okay, so assuming Godot knew the plan, that means he was prepared to kill Pearl. Because it was supposed to be Pearl who was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne.
Because I'm guessing that he saw this and thought this was Dahlia and wanted revenge. And so he, like, I don't know. I'm sure they'll get into it. But yeah, that means that he very easily could have killed Pearl. The absolute bastard.
I guess I don't have any way of saying that wouldn't have happened, but nah. You were the only one. The only one.
Only one. Only you. Dun, 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 dun.
Humans are afraid of the dark. That's why you add sugar. And yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee.
Coffee, or sugar wouldn't make the coffee any less dark. It would be milk that you would add.
Yeah.
But it's no longer dark coffee at that point.
But it's still, like,
Milk
black.
changes the color.
No, he has a point.
Goodness.
Listen,
Sugar
I
is
tried a
clear.
coffee thing. I don't drink coffee. It's hard.
Sorry for always asking, but what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
It means there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer in this case eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he learned of a hidden plan for crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did it all of that just to protect this witness?
That's right.
You're accusing me of this crime? Well, if you're doing so, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl has nothing but a stranger to me.
You would protect her because she's Mia's little sister.
I
You
have
don't know
to
that I
thank
know
you,
that.
Clueless, for informing me that Virtual Boy is a fantastic insult for this man.
Yeah.
Virtual man.
I am what you see. I am certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress.
Very much. No, yeah, you're White Knight.
The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life. His behavior is still a little too unnatural.
Objection. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Godot? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs.
I knew it. Figured it out, haven't you, Nick?
Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Godot. For the same reason, huh?
So she did know.
Okay, it's right. I'm all ears. Let's hear it.
It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you.
What's this?
There's one person who lies at the very center of this whole story. One person that ties you and Maya Fey together inextricably.
Bikini.
You're so right. Larry Butts. Okay.
It's obvious. God damn it!
It's
I
a
couldn't make
very
that joke.
There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she's Mia Fey's only sister.
Mia Fey.
No, our ex-GF.
You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney.
Wait just a second here. Miss Godot is a defense attorney?
We can't have, lawyers switching sides.
That's never happened.
With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Godot. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right?
The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago.
Diego Armando. That that name does ring a bell.
It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself.
I do like your eyeshadow, Terry.
Thank you. Mia Fey's first time in court, the tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia? You can't cry yet. This is the last time I saw blood. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. Then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria.
Ah, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned.
I was. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison in my coffee.
Some newspapers at the time called it a murder. But very little information about the case was released to the press.
But you weren't dead at all.
No official reports ever actually called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma.
I see.
My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. That woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused.
That's terrible.
Apparently, it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew.
Which is...
Then one morning, my eyes flew open from a smell of the doctor's cup of coffee.
Wow.
I mean, does it smell like one of your main sensors?
Yeah,
while you're
it's-
still in comas?
Smell can trigger a lot of stuff, but that is hilarious.
It is.
Yeah, that is very, very in character.
Goofy.
5 years?
Go ahead.
You were asleep for 5 years?
And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Maya Fey was dead.
Nope.
Mia!
Mia!
One last time for the road.
Mia Fey was dead.
No. Her name is Maya.
Mayo Fey.
Mayonnaise Fey.
From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had.
The second worst news would have been that she was married.
The woman I loved had been murdered. And the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death.
The woman you loathed?
The woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge. Listen. Maya has an eye in it. You have to cut me some slack.
Not in this game.
Doesn't!
Well,
Not
okay,
the
it
letter-
sounds like it has
Mia-
an eye as a sound.
Mia-
In the middle of it.
The name Mia has the letter I in it.
He's
Yeah.
already dead.
But she got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
What about Grossberg?
Do you really want
He was
Grossberg?
off with the red whites.
That's true.
He was
Yeah.
distraught when he found out his boyfriend was a murderer.
Yeah. It wasn't the same afterwards.
That's so sad.
For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons to live. One of them was coffee. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor.
If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live?
The first was you, Trite.
I'm flattered, but no thanks.
Huh? Me?
If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died, much less the way she did.
You don't know that.
You were the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault.
I had done one case with her.
It wasn't like that.
I wanted to see for myself what kind of a man you really were.
So that's why you became a prosecutor.
My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh?
Looks at hand.
You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia.
Milo Fey.
1 year ago, when the Corinne Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her.
That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center.
I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it.
That makes sense.
So he wanted to prove he was so smart, which is why he didn't just, destroy the letter before Pearl saw it? He wanted to swoop in and be the hero?
If Pearls had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out.
Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contracted both of my accomplices.
Accomplices?
Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye.
Bitch, you knew? What?
Yes.
You knew she was alive?
I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Faye.
But how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government.
Now that you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. She said that the Master of Karain had great authority.
Even without her official position, Misty Faye still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve was to protect you, look at her staff.
Her staff? The one with the sword in it?
Yes. The day the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple.
That's the inner temple.
That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then, just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay, if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother...
That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan.
You mean Pearls, don't you?
We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne.
Oh, it's me. I forgot. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight?
Well,
If you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan. But she never showed up.
She was worried and followed me to the inner temple.
That was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Faye had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body.
what? What do you mean?
If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself.
As Master of Karain, Misty Fae's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl Fae wouldn't be able to.
Ah!
What? Is this true?
My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fae. That's why I hid myself in the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne.
Godot.
That's all I'm going to admit to, Trite.
Huh?
There's no doubt about it. You're a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself.
The background leading up to this incident has been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. Maya Fae, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Godot.
That's sad to say that Maya's a suspect.
Yeah, I'm not sure I followed this one, Judge.
I don't know
She's
Maya
she's
personally
used to
enough.
it. She's used to being a suspect.
I meet Godot at the office every day.
If you're the real deal, then finish this once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick. Please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Godot. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man that put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me too.
Maya. I know that.
Nick,
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify.
Miss Faye, your testimony, please.
This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
All right, young lady. Tell us the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of murder?
All right.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them. I thought I'd ask for help, but just then it was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead, though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, collapsed and I lost consciousness.
Said Dahlia.
These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them.
I'm sorry.
I perjured.
I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Things break, Trite. Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Fae? It looks like you still can't prove it.
Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me.
Well then, Mr. Wright. Proceed with your final cross-examination of this witness.
This is it. End of the game, maybe. Maybe. Isn't this like the second or third final cross-examination?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that lights shining in the dark? I don't think you could make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I can't say for certain. And I can't tell you for sure, they were from Mr. Godot's mask either.
We'll still need to hear Larry's final testimony after this.
I don't get the feeling that she's covering for him anymore, but just after that, you turned towards the lights and called for help. Isn't that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Godot's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Maya's life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly.
Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights?
Hold it. That blood. Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at that moment. I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
So, that was when the the killer stabbed the victim from behind with a murder weapon. Is that right?
Without a doubt, Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation.
Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
She wasn't dead, though. And she... Oh, wait, we read this already.
Oh,
we could
that
read it again?
struck back. How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly. But I could tell by the sounds of their breathing and movement. And also, the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should have ever have to in one life. Even before this trial.
This was Misty's dagger. And it didn't match the victim's blood, so this was... I'm guessing that this is when Dahlia struck back at the attacker.
Yeah.
So, if we test the blood against Godot's...
Yeah.
So then, what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
Could you still see the red lights you mentioned earlier?
Yes, I think so. But
Hold it. They went out?
yes, suddenly I couldn't see them at all.
What could it mean?
Stealth
If
mode.
the red lights were coming from Godot's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight,
Maybe the mask was damaged.
or maybe it was knocked off.
Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right.
Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working.
What could have really happened then? What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened?
What happened? What happened?
What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean the moment when the red lights went out?
Yes, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hawthorne?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice.
Well, that decides that.
What?
What?
So that scream came from the killer?
Mm-hmm. That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Hawthorne must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh?
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow. I guess.
Please stop guessing. Also, so she does not know about the knife.
Well, Mr. Wright, it seems to make sense to me.
Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder.
There's
That sounds about right.
Ark, no!
That sounds
What?
right.
What's wrong? I'm sorry to
No.
say this.
Don't put batteries in your eye sockets.
But that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction.
That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct.
Remember the testimony she just gave. Before the killer let out a scream, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Ah! Is that right?
She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff.
If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite, for once.
There's only one thing I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here.
If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff,
Sorry to do a big stretch. Also, Dahlia would not have known about the staff sword, but Godot did know about it because he had already talked to Misty.
what could she have used to strike back at the killer? We have no idea. It's
knife!
impossible. Not an idea.
Annoyed.
No!
Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree, which was not a pine tree.
Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me.
Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well.
Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on that dagger could have been from the victim.
Objection.
Sorry, I just imagined him seeing the knife and going,
The evidence has been updated.
Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? Kind of.
Maybe.
Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood.
Oh.
The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body.
So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer?
Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood would prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Godot, it would prove that it's your blood.
Nice theory, Trite.
I don't have blood.
Order in the courts! My
It's
blood is
all
also not
coffee
red.
in my
right,
veins.
baby. Yeah.
Is
My
this the
blood
end?
is not red.
Have I done it?
Is that motor oil or coffee? Oh.
Both.
Even he won't be able to change the results of a scientific test.
Yes, I can.
Watch me.
Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say I turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that?
I would if you couldn't see red.
We don't talk about that.
What? Okay.
Just think for a second on something else. This dagger that was found this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom.
Yes. What does that prove?
Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and also planted another person's blood on it.
That's really stupid.
Good.
You could.
In any case, it's one thing I can guarantee, right? That blood, it doesn't belong to me.
Did he just admit to forging evidence?
I mean, that or murder.
He was
I'm
saying
saying that
as a
I could have.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
What?
Not a chance. Oh yeah, that's right.
Eh.
In any event, it seems to be established that the killer was wounded. All right then, witness. Continue testimony.
Wait a minute.
I was in the middle of my sentence.
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
Oh shit, we just got objected.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
This dagger, you said it wounded the killer,
That's right.
but if Mr. Godot had really been cut with a dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Because I only own one suit, you are so right.
Maya. Maybe he just changed his clothes? That
Oh,
solved the
no.
contradiction pretty easily.
Ah, damn it.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all.
Because we saw him.
Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
Did Macy get trapped there? No!
No, Maisie!
Knocked over a garbage can.
Not at the inner temple!
Okay. Where did I put my controller?
That's right. And once the bridge was fixed, the police headed over for the inner temple. Miss Godot was already there waiting for them.
Mr.
What?
Godot was already waiting for them.
Oh.
Line
No.
sealer.
He never had a chance to change his clothes.
I already know the answer to this.
Order in the court. What the witness says this. I want to finish my sentences!
Well,
No.
maybe everyone had changed their clothes with him.
But no one could have predicted the lightning strike would shut down the bridge. Why would anyone have brought us change of clothes?
Did the judge just take smart pills during the last recess?
I can hear that.
Well, then maybe the killer took off his clothes before he committed the murder? That way he would get any blood on him!
Oh my god.
That's impossible, Trite. It was far too cold. Yeah, that. Hey, there you go.
Classic nude Hamas.
He used his nude body to distract the enemy.
And then after he did this in the nude, he jumped in the river to wash it off.
And climbed back up.
Yep.
Impressive.
Back
After
to
a
the
few
side
moments,
that was burned down.
You took
After
off your
a few
clothes
minutes-
and put on one of the acolyte uniforms that was in the inner temple.
hood and all. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid.
Ah!
There were spare clothes in the inner temple. Saying.
Ha.
No,
No ha.
No,
So that's all you got. I thought you... Ha. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this.
Also, we're assuming that the wound is on his body.
Right now, if Mia Fey were here... If Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already.
If Mia Fey were here?
Yeah. So come on, Trite, can you do it or not?
How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Godot of being the killer. Like, 5 times already. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence?
The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is I have to prove it. That's the only chase I have. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you want it. What?
Ah. That's good. A fighter to the bitter end, Trite.
We got classic cornered!
Yeah.
Holy shit! I was not expecting that. Way to bring back a final boss theme.
Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point. Why don't we go for the ultimate penalty?
Close.
Shout out to people who only had one thing left when they got to this point.
Maybe save.
Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Godot?
Yep.
Is it working? Is it working?
You don't need it. Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need.
My attorney's badge.
Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite.
So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I've got to think outside the box and approach this from a different angle.
All right then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you got.
If you flip the picture over again, I will hurt you.
I'm gonna do it. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the dagger.
Well, fine. We decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. If he had been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing.
There's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound.
What did you say?
Hidden?
Oh no.
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound.
It's the end of the line, the final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where is the location where you say the killer hid his wound? Behind the map?
I have a theory.
What's the theory?
Yeah.
Under his mask.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The wound is
Would
because
you present his profile then?
I guess.
Hey, Lunar.
Hmm?
Your theory from last time.
What? What theory? I don't remember.
Theory?
You
that
mentioned
was
the theory that you
spoiler?
only mentioned to us. Yeah, the one that you spoiled about you thinking it was Pearl. How likely do you think that
Oh,
is?
is that what it said?
Yes.
You didn't read it? You decided
No.
not to read it. That's fine.
I guess this prominently shows the mask.
Yeah,
But
that's,
yeah,
that's
if-
probably it.
Maya said that the 3 lights went out, suggesting that he was hit in the face.
Yeah, when the mask fell off at some point, yeah.
I'll try the profile.
This is Ace Attorney, not Dango.
Listen, I thought it was Pearl being channeled, or Dahlia. This was before.
I'm
He
glad
must have
that's not
been
what
the mask.
happened. That would have sucked.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite?
We lose. Oh. Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
No.
What was that just now? Are we in my head? Mia? It can't be. What? Get out of my head. You're living on through him? Him?
Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask!
Dun, 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 dun.
During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off of your face. Mr. Godot, would you mind removing your mask?
And that's why he lit the torches so we could find his mask.
If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved.
Yeah! Did it really explode? Nope, nope, it's still there. Just now, I saw her spirit in you.
Hmm? Eh?
I never liked you. 6 years ago, you ate glass. How are you alive? And by
Super lucky
doing
figure.
so, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison in your dumb stomach.
Sorry.
And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die.
You let me die. How could you?
But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Godot.
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was my coffee. Also me.
You yourself?
I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else.
Okay.
Sure.
I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit.
But you saved Maya.
Yeah, that was my plan. Up until now, anyway.
What do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person I should have had gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. Do you know why? The real reason?
No. Why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
There we go.
Huh?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact I couldn't save Mia, nothing more. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous.
Yep.
Forgive me.
You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya.
Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure.
What do you mean by that?
That night in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette,
His stance.
a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye, or even that little girl.
Damn.
But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming.
I was studying the blade.
I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Fey? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply a desire for revenge? And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off, as a true defender of the people. In that moment, I understood everything.
Mr. Godot.
I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me.
Thanks.
Your wound. It's bleeding.
Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears.
Tears?
Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over.
This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved with the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright.
Hmm?
I want to apologize to you.
Apologize to me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
Typo? Wasn't that 6 years ago?
Something. I think the one with Terry Falls was 6 years ago. The one with Nick was
that's
5
right.
years ago.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover?
Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Uh-huh. What do you mean?
You and my sister? You only met twice.
What? Huh? We only met twice?
The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were...
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? It wasn't Dahlia?
I hope one day you can forgive me, Feeny.
Oh, that's cute.
Too sweet.
You mean...
That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. And that's why she was asking for the bottle.
But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could.
Hold on.
Because of the police investigation and their surveillance. She couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister... From the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
Prepared for the worst?
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I do need to inform everyone that Maisie is chasing her tail again.
Oh, very important. I also love how the chat brought to light that Phoenix doesn't see differences between the flowers and Dahlia and Iris.
Ah, they're both flowers.
Yeah. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much to answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me. You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place.
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed.
Notice what?
My feelings for you. If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine.
Damn. Iris.
I love that that beautiful idiot.
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you too.
Don't tell Pearl.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dahlia Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright?
Yeah, I think you're right.
He shared.
The purpose of this trial was to rule on the murder of the victim Elise Denham. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty!
Yay!
Yay!
Court is now adjourned with my final line! Bye!
No confetti this time.
It's bittersweet.
Gumshoe is
It is.
otherwise indisposed.
It's February! So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand.
Of course justice was served.
Mia!
I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant.
But I couldn't save Mr. Armando. The man who cared so deeply for you.
Ugh, don't remind me. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible.
You mean with that verdict?
I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me.
Mia!
You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you.
Mia.
I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix.
I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I've found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick?
Maya.
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia, what did she say?
That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry. Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on, cut it out with that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, Sis, and I'm sure Iris too. We owe you for everything you've done for us, Nick.
Maya... How can you be so bright and chipper after all that's happened? You were brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Francisca!
Still a softie as always, Phoenix Wright.
Excellent work, right?
Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, when did you get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been there on the first day of the trial, the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick?
Don't worry about that.
She doesn't know. She never knew.
I heard he fell into a river and got a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day.
Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh, ouch. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too, Francisca.
Francisca, you are our friend now. You can't
Yes.
stop that.
This is non-negotiable. I don't suppose.
Oh!
Everyone but Saps is here!
There's room in there for me. And there's group hug for me too, isn't there?
Oh,
No.
Larry.
What's with the longer than usual face, huh?
Well, I realized that when I was reborn, I mean, that Larry was never been of use to anyone. Not even once.
That's not true. Right, Nick?
Eh,
But you're asking me.
Well, Nick, isn't it true? I've got a place in this world too, right?
Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I can't lie to you.
I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I was just gone for good.
No. Oh, yeah. Those portraits you painted, they were really good. Really good.
Hold on. Before we go any further, Wander, can you save? Because I feel like we're about to present evidence.
Fair enough.
okay. Yeah, I was
Fair
thinking
enough.
about that too.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Yeah?
What? Me?
Why are you making that face? Archie!
Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that they, lack resemblance.
Do you really mean it? Are you friends? Do I draw you too well? Ow!
My beauty can't possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So then you do it? Like you promised? You're gonna mark our next picture book? Francis will be there!
Don't get carried away.
I always do. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the one thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty darn good too, if you ask me.
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around.
Pearls, where could she have gone? Where did Mia take her? Normally, she would have made a beeline for Maya.
Mia, where did you take Pearl's body?
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right
I
back.
want to get one last drink.
Hey, Pearly!
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristic. You seem to be uncharacter. I can do this. Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. Got it. Hell yeah. I suspect you are wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that's happened.
Yeah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well.
I think I understand how she feels. Maya's a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya's trying her best not to cry.
Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand, too. Ah!
Then tell me, Phoenix Wright. Who is Maya Fey being so strong for?
Okay, I get it.
For Larry.
Take that!
Pearl Fey.
The poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fey clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya.
But it's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Fey's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable.
And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake. Until she can see her smile again.
Gumshoe!
Oh, hey, this is where you were all at. Dad! Well, now, what was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy.
How are you now?
My whip just seems to have a mind of its own.
What's up, Detective Gumshoe?
Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win. Let's go out tonight, pal. Dinner's on me.
No, we're having good food tonight. Dinner's on me.
No, listen, the dollar menu has some surprisingly good. All right, my salary's just been kind of gone for a teeny weeny bit, but it's all right. I made reservations at a first-class French restaurant.
No!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
Why?
Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah.
You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean you can't.
No. 3B. Where else?
No!
I knew it. We're doomed. Oh.
Come on, let's go, everyone. We can't keep Maggie waiting there, pal.
Aww.
Okay, that's a good reason to go there.
Okay.
Hey! Oh, no, hey, you. Cryberry, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes.
You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls.
He's already back
Oh.
at Crane Village.
Oh, Maya, what's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Pearly? I can't find her anywhere.
I'll bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village.
Literally.
she
Oh
wouldn't-
my god.
She just left. Just now.
She literally just turned back from Mia.
Yeah.
And, like, they know that she could have gotten back to Crane Village by now.
But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
As I figured, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
Detective Gumshoe?
Yeah, what is it, pal?
Could you guys go on ahead?
But what about you?
Maya and I will...
I just noticed that he's wearing suspenders. Well, how did I not notice that before?
Yeah,
I can't afford a bail.
we'll join you guys once we find pearls.
I thought that was like part of his trench coat or something.
Yeah, I guess I did too, but yeah, those are definitely suspenders.
Didn't he take off his jacket at the end of the final case of the second game?
Oh, he might have. I forget.
Huh?
Don't worry about us, Detective Gumshoe. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, but you.
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, right?
We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Pearly have gone?
Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that Pearls might have gone to.
The office? Oh, all the way up here.
February!
Hazakura Temple?
For Pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started. Oh.
I
That's
got
the
lines.
voice.
I got lines.
Sam's
Oh,
gonna have some
congratulations.
lines as a treat.
Yay! You're all back again so soon.
Sister Bikini?
I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight.
So she's here. Pearly is here.
Ooh.
Hmm.
She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her?
Okay. Oh, the
She
scroll.
She was cleaning off the scroll.
Oh.
Pearly's not here.
Does it say I am now? I am sorry.
Maya, the hanging scroll. She writes it in gravy underneath of the scroll.
That's horrible to say, but yeah.
Someone cleaned it off.
It's gotta be Pearls.
Where's Saps?
Mystic Maya!
This is where Saps was all this time.
I was hiding in a cave!
Like a
Why?
yeti in the mountains.
That makes sense.
Why did you just leave like that?
Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I swore that I would never trouble the two of you ever again.
Okay.
And I said the F word.
What?
I swore.
because-
No.
I see.
It's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother.
That's why you came here?
It's the least I can do. To pray for your happiness.
You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad that my mother's gone. But how do I say this? I'm still happy.
Oh, wait, the chat has a point. Pearl had to have stolen this from the courtroom and just hanged it back here after she fixed it.
Unless, well,
It was
yeah.
never there.
But
Unless
the
we
smell!
really- At least we really did, or maybe we really did have a scratch and sniff photo. Or
Or
maybe somebody poured
She-
gravy on the photo
she's-
to make sure it smelled like the crime scene.
we did have the scroll, and she took it and ran so fast that the gravy sloughed off of it.
Yeah, it was like this when I got here.
I accept all of these explanations and more.
You don't have to lie just to make me feel better.
No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. My sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If even one of you weren't there, I'm sure I wouldn't be alive right now. That's why I have to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them. That's all I really can do.
Mystic Maya. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty.
Sister Bikini.
Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I have to tell you that what she said to me that night.
After dishonoring the good name of Karine, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die.
Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even in the end, I'm sure she had no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? There's a rule or something all masters have to follow. Wait, are to follow, right? To never take the charm off until the day you die.
That's the Master's talisman!
The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. It wasn't the container that was important, rather it was the contents.
Gravy.
Oh, there's a little seam on there. I didn't see.
That's... a photo?
Ah. Mother.
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question.
They also broke it!
I love it
many
so
times.
much.
So many times.
I love this so much.
It's really
great.
cute.
Now this is cute and all, but I just imagine that Misty Face like click evidence. Even when
I
the
thought
battle
this
is
was gonna show up last game, and I was like, wasn't this gonna show? Oh, wait!
yeah.
Shush, 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 shush.
Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother, too. I learned that from all of them. Is that it? Nope.
It's the cutest shit I've ever seen.
Well, shall we get going? Everyone's waiting.
Ah!
This is a day to remember, a day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today, like this trilogy.
But I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay.
All right. I'm going to make a brand new start, too. Sister Bikini, I'll be back for more training, I promise.
I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 for when you come back. Wow!
All right. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance.
God. Isn't Mr. Armstrong in prison?
Maybe not.
Don't worry about it.
And even if he
Maggie
wasn't,
took over.
isn't he like $500,000 in debt?
Don't worry, Maggie got it.
We're gonna bring him.
Maggie owns the shop now.
Oh,
Yay! Now it's good.
nice.
Yay! Okay, Mystic Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight.
Well, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but
What is it, Nick?
reservations for training is fine and all. But why for 3?
Oh, you.
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us.
You're a fae now, Nick.
Eh.
Whether you like it or not.
I'll be waiting for you.
Okay.
Sister Bikini will take special care of you.
Huh? Eh? Oh.
They don't call me Bikini for nothing.
Eh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course, naturally.
Eh? Eh?
That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Missing Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right?
We'll have a nice big meal right before we come next time. Right, Nick?
Eh? You know, I was wondering if I can just say one little thing.
Sure. Of course you can.
Here it comes.
Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting goosebumps too.
Well then, here goes nothing. Objection!
Objection!
Yeah!
We did it in time with 4 minutes to go.
We did it!
You ready to read?
But as you know, there's more.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay,
That's
then-
Bonus girls.
I really have a lot of extra work to do now, Master of Korean and the manager of the. I have.
Big sister to
okay,
Pearly and
well,
has to be a big, has to be a good sister.
As long as I'm not locked up or captured or
Oh.
anything like that.
I'll post them in the general if you need to read them.
Oh, great. Maybe later.
I meant for you guys right now.
Oh.
So it's true. Mr. Nick really is Missing Maya's knight in shining armor. He went through the special course all the way to the end.
Oh,
Actually, I heard there's a legendary extra spicy ultra course here too. I
Spicy?
think I surprised the two of them by making a secret reservation.
ooh.
No.
Uh-oh.
Cute.
Just add
Extra spicy.
Oh, new coat. New coat.
Maggie bought me a brand new coat for her as a present, pal. I feel 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty, shabby old overcoat is just more detective-like, sir.
Don't worry about it. It's all in the name of love. A man will soil himself silly.
He told her. He told her.
Hey,
Oh my
it's
God, he told
official.
her. Oh, good job.
Cute.
Yay.
Mr. Wright, I'm once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Korean exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Miss Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip and said that I must show you what I've learned.
That's for private.
Huh?
Oh.
Desi and I started a company called Playing to Mask Consulting.
Yeah, no time.
Dedicated to
Oh
stopping
my
the
God.
evil plans of all the criminals in the city.
Our motto is cut it out, please.
Pretty cute, huh?
Well, we also sell plans to the criminals as a side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst criminals.
That's really, that's, okay, fine.
That's
Whatever you two
illegal.
wanna do. That's illegal, don't tell me
Probably.
I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him $500,000 in a tea set. Special thick tea. One I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise.
You are exceptionally creepy. Good job.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'm just an old and in the way. A crazy grumpy clown knows ways of flesh. At least that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. A 9-year-old man like me crying like a baby with a 35.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Except it's you, so, Oh, hi.
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do.
He was ready.
We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Alec. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adamada. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly.
That's fun.
My, more reporters. Since the murder, we've been having so much money, made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because we prize such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for Iris to come back.
That might be not be for a while.
Adam the computer. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come by and visit me the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed.
Boys. I guess.
Voices. Phoenix Drive, voiced by Arkman.
Grommen.
And Judd. Huh.
Edgeworth,
Sorry.
voiced by Wander.
Wanda.
We did
Sorry,
it.
Sion.
Sion.
Mia, also voiced by Wander. This asshole, voiced by J-Man. Just keep going at it. Oh, goodbye. This lady, voiced by Lunar. That guy, voiced by Saps.
No!
Oh!
I'm back from a long entire vacation. No one's here to greet me. I guess while I was gone, my little ever buddy quit, and now I got no one. And what kind of lonely, crazy security room is this supposed to be anyway? One with all the flashing lights and switches, I feel like I'm a space alien. And now, what am I going to do with all these Macadama you and that I'm going for everyone? If I bring them the Echipua, I know that what he would say the instant we saw them. I can't really accept this, I'm afraid. But I'm so painful and travel and what our friend German will find treatment like a fine lady.
Macadamia.
This is the main reason why I got this.
Macadamia!
I finally found something I love to do. Fanny's whip chips really gonna turn the heart world up on its head. I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good artist. I'm not a loser after all.
Portrait artist.
Well, okay, Larry.
You know, if you can draw, paint faces.
And that's a picture that he drew.
He drew that. That's pretty good.
Aww,
Hey.
that's
They
pretty
look
good.
Yeah.
I guess the
And
coke
them?
died.
Wow.
See,
Larry-
he's an artist.
Larry would remember what Mia looked like.
Oh, yeah.
Larry
Larry
knows
knows
how
how
to
to-
draw anime. And with that,
That's the
the
end.
trilogy is done.
We
did
ended
it!
at the
Officially
perfect
over.
time.
Yeah.
Did.
It still
Right.
ended before 10, so I'm still right that we made it
We
in
didn't
time.
finish the credits before 10 taps.
Ugh.
Guys, we just saw so many characters for the final time in the
Yeah.
whole
Aw.
franchise. In fact,
did?
the whole Fae clan pretty much had their story just completed. They're done. All of
But they
them.
come back,
That was a
though.
good ending for them, though.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss them.
Yeah.
Ah! Will you ever do the DLC cases for DD and Soul Spirit of Justice? We haven't even played DD yet, but maybe. And Spirit of Justice, maybe. Probably. Maybe.
Maybe.
Honestly, not for like a long time, because it would make
It's
sense
gonna
to
be-
do that after everything else.
It's gonna be like years. I don't even know if we're gonna
Yes.
finish the two new games that just came out before the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
'cause-
yes,
yeah.
on the schedule, we did schedule this game for Sunday as well, but since we are finished, we will be moving on to the Great Ace Attorney on that day.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. It's gonna be great. Hell yeah. Look forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that.
I love the series so much. I'm so glad I got to like,
Yeah.
replay it for what felt like the first time. You all.
Yeah.
We-
And now
we've
you're
also-
mostly blind to the rest of the series, right?
Yeah, Wander is now caught. He's now with everybody. Oh, sorry,
Okay.
you're now up with everybody else. You have seen everything that you've already seen, and now everything's new, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
I think I've seen like maybe the first case of Apollo Justice, but that's it.
I definitely know a lot less about Apollo Justice than I did of this series.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he is fine. That is all that I know.
That's not
that is
true.
all
You
you need
played-
to know.
You played an entire game as him.
I mean, as of that game.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah,
Alright.
What
So,
kind of
I-
end of an era.
End of an
Yeah.
era. So yeah,
End
we
of an
will
era
see you.
soup.
We will see the Ace Attorney franchise again on Sunday. What's happening before that?
Before that,
Friday.
on Friday, we are returning to Metopia.
Ooh, yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
Look forward to it.
And Saturday, Jay's gonna try Minecraft again.
Yay!
Gonna go
Yay!
great.
So I'm looking
And
forward
tomorrow,
to
I'm
it.
gonna do something.
Yay! I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing all this.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see you then. What kind of soup was it, guys?
Coffee soup?
Red?
Coffee
Red
soup.
soup.
Objections.
cheese.
But there's no red here.
Lack of red soup.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.
Night!
Good night.